I was listening to Tucker Carlson the other night, and I realize I've been remiss in doing a video on a certain topic. I haven't been remiss exactly, because telegraphing the strategy we need to use to stop terrorism aids terrorists. But it's time to let the strategy that President Trump has been using out in the open. The year before our war with Iraq began, one of the agenda-driven hosts on the drive-by media invited a terrorist expert to discuss why we should not go to war with Saddam Hussein. The question was asked of this expert whether he thought Osama bin Laden or Saddam Hussein was the bigger threat. The interviewer thought he knew the answer would be Osama bin Laden, but the terrorist expert's answer surprised the interviewer and myself. I never forgot what he said because it is the core reason we should not leave Iraq or Afghanistan today. The terrorist expert said Saddam Hussein was the bigger threat. It's important to note here that at the time of that interview, Osama bin Laden was well known to have coordinated the 9/11 attacks in New York City. Naturally, the interviewer, who was very disappointed in the answer, asked the obvious follow-up question, why is Saddam Hussein a bigger threat? The terrorist expert replied that Saddam Hussein controlled a nation with borders, behind which terrorists could recruit and train. Osama bin Laden didn't have that luxury, as we had just invaded Afghanistan. So at the time this question was asked, the terrorist expert felt Iraq was the best place terrorists could operate. Remember, Saddam Hussein was openly offering $20,000 to the families of terrorist martyrs anywhere around the world. The education I got from that terrorist expert was that terrorists need a place where they can train and recruit. And the corollary lesson is that if you deny terrorists a place to train and recruit, you nip terrorist expansion in the bud. I have long believed President Trump has understood this. His actions are entirely consistent with denying any place on the entire planet for terrorism to fester. I think the reason that Donald Trump did not announce this policy was because it would have given terrorists a heads up. By denying terrorists a knowledge of this strategy, they have been more exposed and therefore more easily eliminated. But now, with people like Tucker Carlson, who failed to understand how Trump has successfully eliminated ISIS, and who is now aligning with Iran's strategy to get the United States out of Iraq, I feel we need to let the Trump strategy known to the public, and sadly known to the terrorists as well. To restate our strategy to stop terrorism, make certain terrorists have no borders behind which they can operate. Let me repeat that. We cannot let terrorists train anywhere on earth. The cost of staying in Iraq versus our leaving Iraq now will cost many more American lives down the road than would be lost by keeping a watchful eye within Iraq's borders. The same holds true concerning Afghanistan. The long-term goal is to leave these countries, but we should not do so before they shun terrorists and are also self-sustaining. The big difference between Afghanistan and Iraq is that Iraq is likely to become self-sustaining much more quickly, since most Afghans are uneducated. So please, let Donald continue to do an excellent job of ridding the world of terrorism. And my prayer is that this sensible policy will continue long after President Trump is gone from office. Thank you. God bless us, everyone, and God bless America.